Greetings, 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐂𝐓 family members. How are we? How are you? You find me in a different setting. It's a bit drizzly outside, so I couldn't take you outside for a walk and for our usual place. We are discussing today how to mind your life speed. Very, very important. How do you mind your life speed so that you can achieve success in life? What is life speed? It is the pace at which you go through your daily activities and pursue your goals. And this is a very critical yet often overlooked factor in achieving success. And today, before we go further, let me read a scripture that really speaks to this kind of behavior in us. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 11, which says that the race is not to the swift, the battle is not to the strong, bread is not to the wise, riches are not only to men of understanding, favor is not only to men of skill, time and chance happens to them all. Time and chance happens to you as it happens to me. And so let's discuss, dearly beloved, this very, very important factor in life. Before you even go any further, it is important to understand what is life speed. So your life speed is the unique rhythm at which you operate most effectively. And it encompasses a few facets to it. The pace, of your decision making. I learned this the hard way many years ago in my marriage. Just to remind you, I've been married 37 years. And around 10 years in our marriage, I found myself stuck because we could not synchronize the pace of my decision making with the pace of my husband's decision making. And until we figured that out, we really were struggling. Your physical movement and energy levels, very, very important. And then the rate at which you process information. Sometimes if you have to do it individually, it's okay. It's just your pace, at which you process information that is crucial. But sometimes you may find you are desiring to do that with another person, particularly if you are married or in a business partnership. You have to consider other people's pace at which they process information. And then my comfort zone, for task completion, the space at which I'm most comfortable to achieve a particular task. And then my natural cycles of productivity and rest. I really feel that this is very important for you to know and to understand. Because unless you know your pace, the pace of your decision making, unless you know your physical movement and energy levels, you will embark at an energy demanding exercise and then fail at it, not because it's a bad thing that you wanted to do, not because you yourself are necessarily a failure, but you're just failing to synchronize life to perform at your optimum best. Guys, this is very important. And also it's important for us to know that, okay, now that we've understood, life speed, there are 3 zones of life speed. And zone number 1 is the acceleration zone. I mean, I have a picture of an athlete, particularly long distance runners. There is the zone of starting, the marathon. And then there is the middle portion, which is where everything happens. People overtake, steps come into play, and you establish yourself as a person. And then finally is the acceleration zone where you finish, you complete the race. But anyway, let me read this out to you. So this is, the acceleration zone is when you deliberately increase your pace to meet challenges or deadlines in the zone. Your focus is sharp and intense. You're working at maximum productivity. Energy expenditure is high. Time feels compressed and stress levels may elevate. This is when you are in that zone where you really are applying yourself to that which you desire to accomplish. It's very, very important. And this zone, did I tell you, it's called the sustainable zone. This is the zone where everything is working. You're applying yourself to it. You're working over time. You're making sure that things happen. Very important to know what zone are you in at this particular juncture in your life. And then the next zone is the recovery zone. This is your deliberate slow down period where you recharge mental and physical energy. Deep learning and integration occur. Creativity naturally emerges. Relationships around you, with your destiny helpers, they deepen. Your mentors, they deepen. And your perspectives, because you've had a bit of experience, when you started the race, now your perspective is broadened, about life and that which you want to achieve. It is not an optional zone, but it is essential for sustainable success. Very, very, you are learning, you are drawing some lessons from the experience that you have had this far. I'm on that journey myself personally with content creation. I'm in different zones at different times. I took off very, very slowly. And in the last 3 months, boy, I've been in that zone where I'm fired up, I'm energized, I want to go. I'm saying, look at this from the perspective of a new year. So there are some principles that you want to use to optimize your life speed. Number one, this is why I thought, let me tell you, I had started this video and I had done it and I was in the process of uploading when I realized, no, I need to research some more. This subject matter is very, very important. And then I stumbled upon this article which I'm sharing from. Rhythm recognition, number one. Learn to recognize your natural rhythm. Very, very important. Even the closest of your loved ones, they can either slow you down or they can overspeed you to your exhaustion. Know yourself, know and learn to recognize your natural rhythms. Track your energy levels throughout the day. Notice when you naturally speed up or slow down. Identify your peak performance periods and understand your recovery needs. Everybody around me tells me, Clarissa, you need to give yourself time to recover. Believe you me, I try. And I'm sure in 2025, I'll even do better. It's my desire to live longer. It's my desire to achieve more. So I have to revisit that about myself. That's why I think it spoke to me so much that I thought, no, the one I had done, no, let me research some more. And I landed this article. Number two, it says strategic pacing. Align your activities with appropriate speeds. Because the race is not to the swift, guys. Remember, it's not about the swiftness of your pace. It's about your capacity to align your activities with appropriate speeds. You're not going to run slow where you're supposed to pace up. You're not going to pace up when you're supposed to recover during a race. You must just do the appropriate thing. And then create environments that support your optimal speed. In your life, in my life, I must create environments that support my optimal speed. Design your workspace for focus. Intentionally design your workspace for focus. Manage interruptions and disruptions or distractions even. Very, very important. What is it in your life that is distracting you? What is it in your life that's interrupting you? So that to the end, you fail to achieve that very brilliant goal that you set out to achieve. Control noise and stimulation levels. I live in a place where there is quite a bit of animals around us. I'm sure if you've been with me, you know my rooster is always, joining me in conversations. Birds, we have many birds in our area. Not so much bigger animals, but these small animals that do make noise around us. Make sure that you moderate that, you regulate that so that it doesn't interrupt with what you want to achieve. Control and arrange your schedule to match your energy patterns. This is very important, guys. When I'm relaxed and I'm doing nothing, do you know when you are, the most functional, when you optimize your performance? When is that in your life? When is that in my life? In my own life, if I'm in a very relaxed state, early morning works out for me. really, really good for me. My mind is fresh. I feel revived, and I perform at my optimal best. But when life is lifing around me, sometimes I will achieve, even any time of the day under pressure. Then the next aspect, dearly beloved, is speed shifting. Develop the ability to shift speed intentionally. This is what I've just said. That under normal circumstances, I'm in a relaxed state, then life happens for me in the morning. But when I'm under pressure, when I need to regulate speed, then I will shift gears so that the demands will match the speed, and I do so intentionally. Practice transitioning between different paces. Very important. I find in the evening I have to find a mental space to debrief and bring myself down to a space where I then transition into sleeping, nicely. And when I'm able to do that, I find I sleep better than if I just jump in and I want to sleep immediately. Create rituals for speed changes. That's what I've just described, where I intentionally will leave everybody, say my goodbyes for the night. I go into my own mental space. I might listen to music. I might read something. I might watch something as I'm trying to bring myself back into my own self. And as I do that, then I will transition into my rest mode, particularly if it's time to sleep. Learn to recognize all these differences with yourself, and you build recovery time into your schedule. Guys, it's very, very important. I know Kitchen Sink family members, those around you say, but Myra, you don't believe it. I do find time to rest. It's just that when you do stuff online, sometimes it follows you everywhere. But I try. And if I'm failing, you can't also fail because I'm failing. This is why this is very important. And so you have to implement these stages successfully. And these are some of the daily practices that will help you, like morning speed setting. Begin each day by consciously choosing your pace for the day. And myself, I find it works better if I begin by our family devotion, and then we will go into corporate prayer for our church, and then I'll find time to do my own personal devotion. That paces my day up much nicer than if I just rock into the day. I review my speed management. At around 11, 12, subconsciously I check, what have I done this morning, to my satisfaction thus far. And if I've missed one of my, routines for the morning, I have time to go back and ensure that I will achieve that. And then I want also, while I'm at it, to plan my speed shifts for the day. Because if I have something to do in that particular day that requires a lot of speed with other things, then I have to regulate my day like that. Very important. Regular check-ins. Assess your current speed several times. I've just told you. Around 11 every day where I am, I check, whether my speed is complying with what I want to achieve in that particular day. And then when I've noticed the misalignment, then I readjust. Sometimes I'll actually say, oh, I'm rushing myself. Let me just sit down for a bit, and I'll do that. Or I am too relaxed for the amount of work that I need to do today, so I'll speed up so that I achieve everything that I set out to achieve. Then make adjustment. Make adjustment on a daily basis. These things that I'm talking about, these are things that you do every day so that you achieve and you be successful with what you want to do. And then evening wind down. Deliberately slow down your pace. Intentionally, consciously slow down your pace. It's very important. Particularly if you are a mornings person, but they are night owls, they may want to achieve much more still, but by the time you want to transition into sleeping, you need to deliberately slow your pace. And also review your speed management. I find sometimes if my mind is very active, that the transition to then go into the rest for the end of day might be a bit of a challenge. But because I train myself to do it, it's like my mind is waiting for me to just engage myself so that I get to a point where I rest. And this is what I'm saying and I'm recommending. And then before I sleep, I make sure I have some kind of plan for tomorrow. I have an idea of what tomorrow is going to be like. It helps me so that I know if I have sufficient time for the day, and if there's too much to do, I will then plan accordingly. Very, very important. These were daily things. Then you could also do maybe a weekly, a schedule for your life, where you actually do speed mapping for the week now, where you chart your optimal speeds for different activities. You plan your week around your natural rhythms, and you schedule recovery periods. One of the things that I do for my recovery is when I've gone out and I've been running around, chasing my tails outside there, when I come back home, even in the middle of the day, God has blessed me with sleep. I can knock out completely during the day. And I do that to my own refreshment when later I will wake up. That's what I do. What do you do? Tell me in the comment section, what do you do? It's very important. Some people say, I can't sleep in the afternoon. How do you rest? How do you recover your energy? How do you do it? And then performance review. Assess your speed management. Am I coping with my speed? Am I coping? I have a few people in my life. Shout out to you, Mandy. Shout out to you, Fadzi. You know yourselves. They will call in just to check, Maranganai, how are you? How are you feeling today? Are you rested? That's part of my, accountability partners who check in with me to see how am I doing with my life. Assess your speed management and not success and challenges. If I wake up and my voice is croaky when they are phoning me, these girls, and they say, Maranganai, you don't sound good. Mandy will say, I'm on my way. I'm coming in to check with you. Do you have anyone who does that for you? You need to have these systems in place for you before you burn out. I have burnt out in my life. I've actually been admitted for fatigue. Let me tell you, it's not a joke. What I'm telling you, that's why I had done something very, very small, and I thought, no, let me stop and really do a bit of research so that I can share something of value that people's lives are improved on, and you are transformed in as far as managing life speed is concerned. And when necessary, adjust your energies, adjust the speed. It's very, very important. Even if it means you put some things on hold, things that are seriously needing your attention, it's okay for you to press a pause button so that you can fully and totally recover. Very, very important. So what I have experienced in my life, this is what I'm going to discuss. Speed addiction. I'm a hyper energetic person, particularly if whatever assignment, whatever, what I'm doing, I need to achieve. I am so addicted to speed. Or constantly operating in the acceleration zone. That's me. That's why I think this is very important for me to share with you. And I have in my life ignored recovery needs of my own life. And I'm saying to you guys, don't do that. Don't do that. So you have to ensure that your speed is in alignment with what you want to achieve, including your own body strength. Very, very important. And it's you who, of course, I have people that help me to do it, but I must also be able to do that myself. And I don't suffer resistance to slowing down, but there are some people who actually suffer from resistance to slowing down. Viewing recovery as unproductive. That's not me, though. That's not me. Pushing through natural rest periods, ignoring signs of burnout. No, you have to recognize all these things. If you are one of those people, you will not achieve your goals in 2025. You will burn out around April, May. By June, you are out of the race in 2025. No, take heart and stop and pace yourself. Speed inconsistencies. I experienced this. My husband did, what do they call, defensive driving. And when we are on a long distance drive, he's always telling me, you see that guy, he's been going fast, slow down, stop, fast, slow down, stop. We're going to arrive at the same time wherever we will be going. and I've seen him proven right every time. You need to ensure consistency with speed and attain to your own rhythm. Frequent erratic speed changes are not healthy for you. And you will be amazed, somebody who's, if it's on the road in Zimbabwe, our maximum highway speed is 120 kilometers per hour. And someone who's going 160, and then they stop. And then when they start, they're talking, they are doing all sorts, they're now at 80 kilometers per hour. The person who's consistently driving at 120 kilometers per hour might actually arrive sooner than you. You need to pace yourself up. Lack of strategic pacing, this is what I'm talking about. You have to tell yourself, I will go at this pace, and you achieve that. I know that some if it is a vehicle, there are some that you put your setting in and you will just cruise at that speed. Very, very important. And then poor transitioning management. You don't know when to increase speed. You don't know how to manage the speed of life. If you have to repeat this particular video, please do so. And there are indicators that will show you that you are doing well with success, with life speed management. Your management of your life speed is effective when energy levels remain stable throughout the day and productivity feels natural rather than forced. When recovery periods are regular and rejuvenating. When stress levels are managed. When goals are achieved without constant exhaustion. And creativity flows regularly. Learning and growth feels sustainable. This is very important, guys. If we are to achieve our goals in 2025, this is very important. And so that I check out from this conversation, dearly beloved, remember, the race is not to the swift. The battle is not to the strong. Bread is not to the wise. Riches are not only to men of understanding. Favor